Let's see, why do I still have... Oh, I still have the speedrunning window up. Oops. There we go. All right. So we have two options here. We have Baki, the glory of Egypt. 10,000 people, 70 culture, 70 prosperity. We have two pyramids to make and a mausoleum. Or Byblos. Byblos has been a long trading partner for us. The Cedars of Lebanon. A large obelisk and two small obelisks, and much more modest wind conditions. But I'm sure it's going to be pretty tough. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do... let's do tails for Byblos and heads for Baki. Let's go. Tails it is. Byblos. A military mission. All right.
Egypt has emerged from its recent troubles with a newfound strength. Byblos, with all its verdant
This is the dude that narrated the original intro to the game.
With your presence, the city is sure to thrive, and a new kingdom will be established. Ah, but what an alarming discovery we made after conquering Byblos.
He sounds so bored.
People,
what an alarming discovery.
And some even say their empire rivals our own for size. Now they have turned their eyes toward Byblos, covetous of its riches. If we are not well prepared for their attack, we could easily...
Oh, they definitely did reuse the original.
While preparing to meet the Hittites, we must mark Byblos as forever Egyptian. With your blessing, O Pharaoh, we shall erect a series of 3 obelisks. 2 small, 1 large, proclaiming your sovereignty and fame throughout the far stretches of your empire. These towering monuments will remind the residents of Byblos with whom their loyalties should lie. While we occupy ourselves with matters at Byblos, other regions...
I am, Tally. I'm getting near the end of the base game. I still have all of the expansion stuff to go through as well.
Reports from Roarty tell of another mysterious new foe.
The sea people.
Both these enemies must be strongly put down if Egypt is to attain glory. Show your might.
Send troops and warships should they be requested. That shouldn't be too hard considering the game is giving us what we need to build a military. I hope. So we already start with a really gross looking city. What is this? Okay. All right. Well, it is what it is, I suppose. Interestingly enough, it has started us with walls, which should actually protect our valuable buildings from attack, and we'll be able to build stuff within these walls as well, in case we get overrun. Not that that would ever happen. We have 17,000 starting gold. I have a feeling we're going to need it too. Okay. So what do we have going on here? Obviously we have food and wood, yeah. Copper and wood. Copper and wood cutters. We also have gold. I'm probably going to mostly use gold. I only need a couple of copper mines, right? But there's a wide stretch of land in here. I have to put 6,000 people, and there's not enough, there's not a lot of water. There's not a lot of place to put 6,000 people. Funnily enough, there's some stretches of road in here that would be nice to put people. Okay. 3 gods. Temple complex to Bast. We also already have 36 granite. This is going to be so weird. I think our first patch of housing is going to be right here. It's a patch of green up there, some water possible. Yeah, there's also water over here. And yeah, we also have... I guess we should probably build our first chunk of housing inside the walls. Just in case we get horribly destroyed. But what really sucks in this map is that all of the... Our woodcutters are over here. And our... everything else is over here. So we may want to build some woodcutters over here. Just so that they don't have quite as far to roam. Even though there's way less wood over here. Yeah, right here. Yep. I guess this technically works. I'd rather be building chariots than weapons, though. Like, I'm going to go all in on chariots, right? That's the way you play this mission? I feel like that's the way you play this mission. Let's see, we only have 1 trading partner. I assume more are going to open up as we play. But for now, we don't have any income. Reeds, papyrus, pottery, clay. Can we even produce any of those? No. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use this stretch of housing here to start us off. We may have to use a lot of roadblocks to make sure our water gets where it needs to go. So we're going to put a water supply here. We're going to put a bazaar here. And this is all going to be housing. Nah. We want a little bit of a road. Yeah, maybe something like this. And then over here we can put our 3 temples. And we'll need an extra to Bast. If I do that, are you gonna be mad? Excuse me. Could you show me... Okay, that's good. And then we're also probably going to put a stretch of housing down here as well to make use of this water source. We may not be able to get housing out this way, but that's okay. What do we have for food? We only have fishing wharfs. Okay. And we need to leave enough room for military ships as well. Well, we're definitely going to need more fishing wharves. I don't think those 3 are going to be enough for us. And these are fire risk. They're fire and collapse. Okay. You hate fish as a food in this game? I do too. I would rather have almost anything else. Okay. So how do our temples look? Because I saw our gods are kind of mad. Okay. We may need another temple to Ptah and Seth going forward. But we'll go with that for now. Yeah. No, I 100% agree, Tana. Okay. Well... First things first, we need to get enough workers to fill all of our job openings. So here's our priorities. Get enough workers to fill our job openings. Start chariot production. Get, like, a couple of charioteers on the field. Get a couple warship and transport wars. Those are our, like, priorities in order. I don't quite know how dangerous this is going to be as far as, like, a war map. But considering the last military mission we fought was absolutely soul-crushingly awful, I'm not taking my chances. We can't import anything, or we can't export anything, so there's no real point to worrying about that at the moment. We can worry about that other things as we go. But once we get our workers in, we'll stabilize our wood and copper. We'll start gold as well. We should also prioritize that, because that might be what we have to rely on. There's a lot we need to do. But let's go ahead and unpause the game. We'll start getting people in, and then we'll go from there. I think the stuff that they have is relatively stable. They definitely have enough firehouses and architects posts around for all of these things. A lot of these slum houses aren't going to ever beat anything. We just need the people. We just need the people. We need the people, we need the food. Once we stabilize the city, we can start worrying about what our actual requirements are. We should be able to get 6,000 people, but it's gonna take some effort. I wonder if it would be worth it to move the palace over here. I think it would be. I'm gonna sacrifice some trees to delete the palace. And we're gonna move it over here. And we're also going to fill up on gold mines. I feel like there's a better spot to put that. No, maybe there isn't. Okay, well... This is going to just be like its own little closed loop system that leads directly to the palace. And it's going to have our firehouse, our architect's post, and a couple of slum houses. At least one slum house. Maybe a big slum house, but it's still a slum house. Is this rock literally in the way? Okay. Okay, there we go. Good job, game. Good job. Okay. So, this has nothing accepted. So we're going to do 50% chariots. We're going to do 50% weapons. We also have to build composite bows as well. But that's pretty low priority at this point. Alright, so we have gold going, or we will have gold going. I am going to put some woodcutters down here. Do I want to put them inside the wall? I don't think it really matters much. But I may want this storage yard inside the wall. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to put our storage yard here for wood. And we're going to put a few woodcutters in here. I think that makes sense. Because we're going to have to ship wood over here to a shipwright to build ships. I could put it out here, but I'm worried about it getting demolished in a sudden attack. So that's what we're doing. Now, we are going to be reliant on these little clusters of trees for these woodcutters. Yeah, now that I think about it, I guess it would be better to put 2 storage yards. Put one out here for wood. And then have this one get wood. Like that. And then we can also move these woodcutters out here. Like that. Okay, we're getting golden. That's good. We're still short on population, though. And we're going to be struggling with food for a while. Desirability is also going to be a problem. Okay. So we're going to try to build, like, these cluster of housings just like I would a manor. Just obviously with a much lower tier of housing in mind. And we can actually also expand the housing in here since we no longer have the palace. And we can put roadblocks here and there. How are the gods doing? Okay, the gods are happy. That's good. And we can put like a big statue here in the middle. So it's going to take a little bit of time for the food to trickle in because, again, fishing is awful. We could import food. Is that what we're going to do? Are we going to import food? It feels kind of gross. Why is this free? Huh. Okay. I mean, if it's a free route, we're gonna open it up. Okay. So we can put a booth here. I know it's not exactly ideal. We have a lot of area we have to work on right now. Everything is so spread out on this map. So we're just gonna kind of have to deal with our entertainment being a little bit jank. And right now, we're just going to have to accept that booths are what we're doing. Employees are still needed. Our food needs to spread out a little bit more. I don't know if these houses are actually ever going to be anything of value. They probably won't be. Not that close to the granary. Okay, so we should have a bunch of wood coming in. That's good. A plague. Yeah, that's gonna be the next problem, is we need a physician. Or two. You need one down here, too. and probably one out here as well, since this is kind of an important area. Alright. Yeah, disease is just going to start striking everywhere. It's okay. We will survive. I'm gonna adjust this slightly. Because again, I'm feeling paranoid. We're gonna put a slum house in here. And we're going to put a architects and firehouse in here. And then we're going to wall up. We're gonna put a gatehouse here. And we're just going to make the world's smallest wall. There we go. Does that actually protect that area? No. Why not? There we go. It's dumb, but it works. There we go. So that will protect my city palace if we lose in a battle from big, mean, nasty, scary invasions. Okay, so we do have some archers and infantry already. That's good. But we're going to pivot to chariots. But we don't really have enough people to do that right now. Okay, let's get rid of this housing down here. We're going to put a physician down here. And a bazaar as well. Technically, I think the bazaar over here should be able to handle all of this, but it may need a little bit of help. So I'm guessing we're going to have to import clay or pottery. We can't import pottery. We can import clay. We can't import clay. The game is giving me very clear indicators here. They're saying, shut up, build military, don't worry about the rest. That is what the game is telling me. Clearly. Alright. So let's do this. This is a little bit silly. Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. We're gonna put a water supply here. I think that we'll get access to the gods. It may only be one god, but that's okay. Alright, let's build a couple of warships. We'll plop one there. And there. There we go. Okay, once these pops get in, we'll start working on our... Did we always have a house there? Or did I accidentally put that there? Well, whatever. It's population, so I'm not going to worry about it. Once we get some unemployment, we'll get our chariots running. have a lot of wood. That's good. We should also bring in our copper. So how do we want to do this? Well, we have our copper storage yard right here, right? Well, we should... No, that's our weapon storage yard. We can put a copper storage yard here. I don't quite know what else we're going to put here, but for now, we're just going to put it as all copper. I didn't actually realize that we didn't have a copper storage yard. And we can expand our copper mining operation a little bit. I don't want to get rid of all of my trees, though. That's very important. We need those trees. Okay. Desirability? Yeah, desirability. You would think this town would be more desirable, but apparently not. I don't even think we can import granite yet. Okay, we can import granite. That's good. We could probably start doing that. How does our economy look? I mean, we're spending a lot of money, but it looks like we're getting... Well, we're getting probably at least 5,000 gold per year. Just from our gold mines. That's pretty good. And there's a whole lot more gold here to be had if we want to go that route. Which we may have to. Okay. So that's good. We have a little bit of unemployment. Yeah, let's expand our gold production even more. Put some gold mines up here. You might think I'm going nuts on the gold mines. I don't think I'm going nuts on the gold mines. I don't think this mission is as difficult, maybe, as I'm making it out to be. But I'm also extremely paranoid and terrified. A Hittite army will approach my city in 6 months. Okay. We have a small army. Not as large of an army as I would like. But we're going to start producing chariots. And we're going to start progressing. Hopefully. And you know, even though I don't really think they do anything, we could put some towers in too. Yeah, just to make our city even safer. Safer. These definitely affect desirability. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. Ah! We have plenty of wood. You can have it, good sir, or madam. A nearby tower is having a detrimental effect on desirability. Of course it is. I don't understand what's so undesirable about living next to a tower. Do you not want to be protected? Is that what you're saying? Do you want to die? Here, have a couple cat statues. That'll distract you from the big scary tower. There we go. Alright. Trade route to Knossos has been opened up. What can you do for me, good sir? You sell me pottery and jewelry. Okay. That's kind of helpful, but also kind of not really. We're definitely going to have to import pottery. But I'd rather have something that I can sell, like wood. I don't really want to rely entirely on gold mining, especially if we're going to start getting attacked by people. Okay, let's go ahead and build a charioteer. Oops. Charioteer. So charioteers are the top tier military unit. So having an army of them should be very good. Should be. Why? Why can't I get another one right there? Okay. Do something like that, I guess. I know employees are needed. It is what it is at this point. I'm just kind of hoping it's going to be a fairly small attack to start with. But I also know that this is not exactly early in the game, so it's going to be a little rough. I'm also going to build a second archer fort, only because it's extra bodies. I want the rest of my forts to be chariots. Yeah, they have a lot of chariots. I only have one. Is that a draw? No, it's not a draw. It's not a draw at all. Okay. So that didn't... My walls didn't protect my city, apparently. That's great. I'm glad my walls are working as intended. Maybe it's because they knocked down the wall pieces. Who knows? But we survived. That's a good thing. That's the most important thing. There we go. And I get the feeling that's going to happen a lot this mission. Although that wasn't actually so bad. That wasn't terrible. This is a shrine to Fatah. We don't need that. These were warship wharfs. This was a tower. Okay, that's definitely working perfectly fine. It's fine. There we go. Oof, we lost a lot of our housing, actually. This was all copper. And this was the architect firehouse. Yep. And let's rebuild this housing. There we go. Overall, it could have been a whole lot worse. Architect post? There it is. There we go. Excellent. Oh, we lost some walls down here too. Alright, how does our defensive overlay look? It looks okay. I don't really know how these houses were destroyed when they're inside the walls, but I'm not going to ask questions. I'm just going to assume that the game is buggy. Who'd have thunk it? The biggest loss is that the fact that we lost our entire army. So that means we have to rebuild from scratch. We can't build another recruiter. So we just kind of have to deal with it. That's always a bummer. Yeah. Well, the problem is that you can run into situations like I ran into during the last mission, or the last military mission that I did, where like they just kept attacking me, and I couldn't like rebuild my army to defend against the next attack. So once we get the pops in, we can start importing 400 pottery. Importing 400 pottery. Pottery is a little bit expensive, but we should be able to at least get this housing upgraded a little bit, get a few more people in. We get a few more people in, we can expand our raw resources production, and we can expand our weapon production. So we can start making actual weapons, or more weapons, I guess I should say. We already have one weaponsmith. We can build a second weaponsmith now, probably. But we can start making composite bows for our archers. That will make them a whole lot better. We could start building up a reserve of copper for requests, because we're going to need copper for requests. Absolutely we are. We're going to need copper. We're going to need weapons. Maybe, I don't know if they'll do chariot requests or not, but we have to keep that kind of stuff in mind, because they may. But the good news is they have given us a whole lot of resources to work with. It doesn't seem like it is, but the more I look at this, like, I don't need this many copper mines. So it literally, the game is telling me, hey, you need to build gold mines. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Hey, no, 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 no. Okay. Whatever, hyenas. You got away from me this time. But next time, I will have my revenge. You won't get away from me next time. Is it possible for me to upgrade this housing, or is it just going to be upset forever? I mean, it seems like it's probably just going to be upset forever. The desirability in this area is just way too low. build another transport wharf. And another fishing wharf. I can't imagine we're going to need more than 2, maybe 3 transport wharfs. It just doesn't come up very often. Now, I guess what I could do... I could build a large statue over here. And that'll help the desirability here. And a little bit here, but I'm not too worried about that area. But I think our towers are doing okay. We still have a couple that need manned. And I don't... This road... We don't need this road. We don't need this road. We don't need this road. So I could be wrong about this. I may be completely ignorant. Yeah, I guess that does make a lot of sense. It doesn't look like I put any firehouses or architect's posts in here. But I think that the way that the combat simulates out matters less than the actual combat power of your army. I think that the simulation that it shows is just a visual indicator of how you do. I could be wrong about that. But I don't know what other use towers would have other than to, like, improve your defensive capabilities or something along those lines. But I might be completely wrong. It's just a janky game mechanic. I probably shouldn't treat it as anything more than that. We may have to start building houses up here. Somewhat, when they released the game, there was no animations at all, just 2 armies walking towards each other. I don't think we're much farther than that at this point. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I think the animations were thrown in as more of an afterthought. So where did my pottery go? I know I bought pottery, yeah. Why aren't these guys upgrading? Oh, not enough entertainment. At least they stop and fight? Kind of. Do they really, though? I guess so. I guess it's probably better than whatever they were doing before. Okay, so I think I'm going to build another storage yard. And this is going to be for composite bows, and we're going to start building composite bows. Yeah. There we go. Egyptian army is engaged in combat at the distant city of Kadesh and requires you to dispatch reinforcements there. Send troops to their aid within 12 months. Land route. Okay. At release, they would just keep walking past each other and exit on the other side. I still don't think we're much past that. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like, I've seen weird, janky things where they have just literally walked past each other. I don't know. I don't cry too much over the loss of the combat system, the military system. Not like Talion Dath does. I know Talion Dath is not in the chat, but he's pretty sad that they deleted out a lot of the military stuff. And I understand that. But it just wasn't, for me, it wasn't a significant part of the game. Or not significant enough for me to really mourn its loss. I know I have a plan here. I just don't know what it is. I think I'm going to put a pavilion here. And I think that'll work. Yeah, I'm more mad about the whole Predators thing. That's the one that annoys me the most. And it's kind of in the same vein. Because the reason why they probably don't have, like, actual armies on the city screen is because they just don't have combat programmed into the screen, which is also why you can't kill the Predators. So it's the same problem, but it's different symptoms. If that makes sense. Yeah. So either they couldn't or they wouldn't program combat into the actual city screen. And that just led to them releasing a very, very stripped out version of the combat system. I'm actually kind of happy with this. This is actually working out okay. I do want another charioteer and probably even a 6th charioteer. But I think we're doing okay. We have lots of money coming in. Our cities are doing fairly well. We have nearly 2,000 people within the protection of our city walls here. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. There's some things that we still have to work on. But at least right now we're doing okay. I'll feel better when we actually start repelling enemy attacks, though. That's going to be the real determining factor. Desirability is bad. Yeah, I get that. I said before you could win a battle if you were very outnumbered. You could use support from hunters, police, towers, and ships. Now all that is gone. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, the support from non-military stuff was very weak, but you are right. It did help, and it was something that you could do to protect yourself. I think they were just led into a position where they didn't really want to program in a combat system, but they kind of had to do something because it was such a major part of the game, even if the old combat system was still kind of jank. And I've mentioned that before. There's so many times where I've played this game, the classic version of the game, and you'd have, like... And it happened in Caesar 3, too. I've been playing Caesar 3 a lot, too. And, like, one of the spawn points for the enemy army would be, like, across the river over here. And they would just hang out there until the end of time, or until they got bored and went home. And it just completely disrupted your city. You couldn't get your imports in, and your city would just slowly starve to death for a few years until they decided to leave. Or you somehow managed to mount a counteroffensive. Which was often harder, easier said than done. It was jank when you didn't try to really understand it, but once you got the hang of it, you would almost never lose, even with bad odds. Yeah, you're right. One game that I kind of avoided the hype for it, that came out recently, relatively recently, that I want to look into is, oh, what was it called? Going Medieval. That game got, like, crazy popular reviews when it first came out. It's kind of a city builder strategy colony sim. I kind of avoided it because I typically try to avoid games that have a lot of hype around it. But now that that hype has kind of died down, I've thought about going and giving it a shot sometime. But I have to complete the games that I have ongoing right now before I take on any more projects. I'll be honest, there was a small part of me that didn't feel like playing Pharaoh today. Just because I played it for so long yesterday. But the other game that I have going is Dynasty Warriors, and I really don't want the crap kicked out of me for another 3 hours, like the last stream of that did. So it was either play Pharaoh and enjoy myself, or start a new game, and I'm not quite to the point where I want to pick up another game just yet. I want to finish out some of these first. Alright, we have so much wood. We could probably even build more composite bow production. But we can't export composite bows, and we're not going to get the opportunity to export composite bows. So that's probably not what we're going to do. It's been on your wish list since day one. You've always rather waiting for a good sale. Yeah, it's true. All right, we could probably start importing some granite. We're making so much money. I'm a little bit afraid to, because we could always get destroyed and our warehouses could get destroyed in a raid. But I don't think we have too much to worry about. We're getting on our feet. We do have to send these reinforcements, which we're just going to send the house. There we go. That should be enough to save the day. I hope. Part of me just really wanted to make sure that I had... Yeah! We conquered Kadesh, and we were victorious. We lost a few troops, but nothing unmanageable. We'll build another charioteer fort and another charioteer fort. So we have a full complement of charioteers. I saw we have a massive, like, influx of chariots in storage, so I wanted to get that resolved. Okay. So once we get our army of chariots up, we should be very good. We should be fine. If the game if the game sends more at us than we could deal with than with 3 chariot squads, then we're just not meant to win. We're just not meant to win that fight. Okay, now we can import beer. We're making so much money. We might as well. We can't. We can't because we don't actually have that route opened yet. Okay, well, we're going to import beer as soon as the game opens it up to us. fish? Yeah, you can have fish. We have more than enough fish, surprisingly enough. One thing we are going to have to keep in mind, we're going to want a second food source, which is why I am building more gold mines. There we go. We'll put a slum house here along with our posts. Excellent. Our route to Kadesh has opened up. Very cheap land route. They sell ebony, wood, and copper, which is not very useful, but they buy linen and papyrus. So we could start selling linen if we import some flax. That may be a good option. But will that route stay open? It's a good question. I would like to think that we'd be able to keep it open, but I have no way of guaranteeing that. So, at least for now, we're going to plan on it staying open. It is at the farthest corner of the map. I don't think it could be higher north if it tried. Yeah. Let's go ahead and import flax, and we'll sell linen. That's a land route, right? So that means we can keep our storage yard for that inside the gate. Yeah, we'll import 400 flax. And we'll make 2 weavers. There we go. And we'll plop another storage yard down here for the linen. There we go. We're not going to be able to build too much farther over here. We're going to start struggling to get access to workers. But this is okay. We're doing okay. We still can't import beer, though, which is a problem. But it's not an insurmountable problem. Oh, oops. I forgot to build a road over to here. My bad. There we go. Yeah, this area is having some trouble getting workers, but once this slum house gets populated, it'll be fine. Now, the only thing I don't really know what upgrading these towers do. The army defends the city after enemies penetrated borders. Building defensive structures may prevent enemies from ever setting foot within the city proper. Each defensive structure generates its own defensive zone that protects the civilian buildings inside of it. Fully surrounding a zone with defensive structures protects all of it. Yes. Towers add a little offense to your defensive walls. Towers are manned by guards. Towers must be built into walls. If there are no walls, placing a tower will automatically construct them, making them pricier in the process. That's actually kind of nice. I remember, I don't think it did that in the original game. I think you had to build the wall and then build a tower on top of it. Does it require road access? Yes, 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 yes. Towers make a good addition to your army value in case of attack. The natural defense zone of a tower is 6 towers. Or, the natural defense zone of a tower is 6 tiles. Plus 3 for each upgrade, up to a total of 12. Okay. war. Build defensive structures to seal those cities' boundaries against invading forces. Also build force warships to transfer to attack any further countries. Overseer of military will defending attack. I think that's my biggest problem. I would be more okay with the combat system. Doesn't mean it's worth to build your forts close to towers. So forts themselves, according to the description, provide their own defensive area. Let's see. While not defensive structures themselves, they contribute their own defensive zone. An empty fort has a natural 4-tile defense zone, while a fully manned fort will protect 10 tiles around it. So I don't know if you need to build your forts close to the towers. Obviously, they have to be close to a recruiter so that they can get their guards. But the only thing building the towers do is create a defensive zone, and it increases your army value, whatever that means. And I think that's the thing that the game needs to do a better job at explaining. What the heck is army value? What goes into it? How is it calculated? You can assume, you can make assumptions, right? Your soldiers probably contribute to your army value. Does it mean, what does that, or does that mean that defensive zone is for the city, meaning any building within the zones will be more protected from destructions if used? Yeah, that's what it does. So you have this defensive overlay, this defensive zone. Buildings within the defensive zone are less likely to be destroyed in the event that you lose a combat encounter. I don't fully understand it because this was all in the defensive zone, but I had houses in here get destroyed. But you can build towers to just, like, extend your defensive zone. So, like, say I wanted to extend my defensive zone down here, I could just put a tower there, and it will expand the defensive zone. And allegedly, that means that this area will be more protected from being attacked and taking damage. Also, I don't know why I upgraded that because I plan on deleting it. Well, we might as well keep it there now. Why not? Yeah, maybe if they described the combat system in a little more detail, people would hate it less, but they will probably just hate it regardless. It's not as good as the original. And that's the only thing that really matters. We have a lot of copper. That's very nice. Excellent, excellent. We have all of the important resources. We may need to produce more food. We're probably going to end up importing food. We're probably going to have to import food, which I did say that as well. They just added that as a visual crutch to pretend they did something. It's only display, and it doesn't change the battle whatsoever. I can't rule that out, but I also don't really have any way to test it. Like, there's very few situations where you plan for a loss in a battle. I think that's the biggest issue that I have with it. Like, in the original game, you built walls to protect your city, yes, but also to funnel enemies into an area. You know, if you had two entrances into your city, say you had an entrance here, and then you had an entrance here, and the enemies can attack from both ways. If you built a wall here, it forces the enemy to attack here, even if they had to go the whole way around. In this game, you build walls with the anticipation that you're going to lose, in the hopes that your important buildings don't get destroyed. It's kind of backwards, if you think about it. Also, we're about to get attacked by the Hittites. Well, hopefully our 2 squads of charioteers and our archers are good enough. And we build walls to build towers on them, so at the end I had a wall of towers. That's fair. Towers were also always extremely powerful. I think towers have always been able to kill most things in a couple of hits. I remember playing Caesar 3 and dealing with the Carthaginians against ships too. Yeah, they were very good against ships when you didn't have any ships. But in Caesar 3, when you fought the Carthaginians, they had the elephants that would absolutely destroy basically anything you had. And towers were like the best thing to use to destroy them. It was pretty nice. It was pretty nice. Alright, so we're going to get to test run our army here. And by test run my army, I mean kind of just hope for the best, I guess. Oh, it's a lot of dudes. Who won? We won? They won? See, this is what I mean. Like, this is what confuses me, and this is why this is extremely jank. Like, we won. Hooray. We didn't lose any buildings, presumably. But, yeah, both bars went down to nothing, and a bunch of people died. Also, we did lose a bunch of structures as well. Okay. This game is so broken. I'm going to build another chariot thing. Okay, I may have to reassess my opinion of this game. Based solely on these hard combat missions. Yeah, but there's not really any real indicator for it, and it looks like it did just as much damage as it would have done before. To me, it almost, I don't like making this assumption because it's always a bad assumption to make. It feels almost like they didn't play through the entire game. They just play through a large percentage, or, you know, maybe even a small percentage of it, and then they're just like, well, this is working just fine, let's just go with it. Because I feel like these late game battles are just completely broken. Like, what? There was definitely rubble there. I mean, they didn't destroy anything inside the walls this time, so that's good. They did destroy my warship wharfs. And my fishing wharfs, which kind of sucks, but hey, it is what it is. We may be able to get away with just this architect post. It's kind of hard to say. We did lose a bunch of granite, though, and that kind of sucks. Okay, we may need to import hides for shields for the soldiers. But it is what it is at this point. I feel like some of these towers are struggling to get workers. Especially these? Or they're just taking an exorbitant long period of time to get their troops. Who knows? Who knows? We need 69 additional workers? Okay. I think it may be time for us to set up some housing up here. We're going to do our classic little square formation. Just because it's pretty easy to just shove into everything. There we go. Battle at Gaza in 9 months. Alright. We should be able to rescue them, I hope. This is kind of a really big block of housing, so I hope it doesn't cause any problems. But we'll see. Go. We'll fill this inside. All right, let's start importing some food, shall we? Because I don't want to live entirely on fish. Fish is going to start being a problem, and the other thing is we're going to continue getting requests for fish. So let's import some grain. We gotta also import fish, apparently. For now, we're going to import grain. I still really wish the game would allow me to build multiple recruiters. A military academy would provide better trained soldiers. I should have... They should have academy training, yeah? No, maybe not. There's no real way to tell. Whatever. We'll figure it out. Six months, okay. It doesn't seem like we're going to be getting attacked within those 6 months. I'm going to wait a few more months just to make sure, but I don't want to send my reinforcements off and then suddenly get attacked. That would be very unfortunate.
I heard there is a job here for anyone who wants one.
Okay, where are we at with granite? 68. Do we even have enough warehouses? 32, 64. We do, for at least for the small obelisks, we do. But we're not even close to importing enough for them, so I'm not even really worried about it. Nice. We can't import beer yet, so we're not worried about that. But yeah, food is going to be a very real concern. What we may have to do... We may have to put a storage yard up here for grain, and then have our granaries, like, go and get the storage yard. That's usually a better way to go about it than just having the grain shipped somewhere. Put a bandstand up there. Okay. I think we're good. I don't think we're going to get attacked. We'll send the boys. We'll send the house. There we go. This would be a great time for them to attack me, though. So it looks like we could get more food in here. You get at least 6 months warning by then your troops will be back. Not always. Sometimes they pull a cheeky, you're going to get attacked in 2 months. But I get what you mean. I get it. And you are mostly correct. Except when the game decides to be cheeky and sassy, you are entirely correct. Usually, yeah. Yeah, usually. Alright, let's go ahead. We're going to put a whole bunch of fishing wharfs in here, I guess. It's going to hurt desirability, but we need the food, so it is what it is, I'm afraid. There we go. And we need physicians up here too. We'll put one there. We'll put one over there. There we go. Yeah, I see the numbers in here are slowly going down. Yeah. All right, we did a good job. We won the battle. Alright, we are very close to basically as powerful of an army as we can get. So if we keep getting deleted, I'm going to have some concerns. I'm going to have some very big concerns if we keep having trouble. Alright, we successfully conquered Gaza. Great. Maybe they'll sell us beer? That would be pretty nice. Our culture is awful. But our culture is going to continue to be awful because we don't have access to the things that we need to improve it. Hmm. Let's set up another dock here, because I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of dock workers that we're going to need to keep up with. I mean, we shouldn't really have problems with... Do we really need the water supply here? Probably not. We want that to be as much of a straight line as possible. Unemployment? My goodness. I don't know what we're gonna do with this unemployment. Well, let's see. But we can import straw, of all things. We could import gems for jewelry. I think we've already had the discussion, but that's not really a good trade-off. Gems on their own are just way too expensive. I mean, we probably will eventually to get our cities to upgrade. But gems are... I mean... No. Gems are 120, jewelry is 130. That's not worth it. That's not worth it in the least. It sounds like a good idea, but it's not. So I guess what we're going to do is prepare to start building some obelisks, even though we're not anywhere near it. We'll build a couple stonemasons and a couple of carpenters. We'll put them over here. Why not? It's probably about as far as we're going to go with this, though, because, again, it's going to start struggling to get housing. We'll put another architect's post here, just to be on the safe side. And we can also put a couple warship wharfs here. I'm still not sold that we're not going to get attacked by sea at some point. So having those extra warships may come in handy. Plus, it'll be work for our unemployed people, which is always nice. Welcome to the party, Zephophorus. How are you doing today? We are conquering Egypt's enemies, one chariot at a time. I was hoping that a trade route to Gaza would open up. It hasn't yet. I wonder if it will at some point. It probably will. I could import more flax and sell more linen. We might as well, right? Diversify our portfolio, so to speak. Yeah. And while we wait for the next request/invasion, I'm going to go get a quick drink. I will be right back. Alright, and we're back. Grab some water. I stretched my legs a little bit. It looks like we have some entertainment issues here. We can fix that. And we may have enough for the first obelisk. Not the small one, the large, or not the large one, the small one. Yeah. Where do we want to put this? I want to put it somewhere that looks good, right? So I think what I might do, I might put the big one in the center, and then the smaller ones just off kilter. I think that'll look good. Maybe not. It's fine. Physicians and dentists we can work with. Scribal schools, senate houses, those things we can't really do anything about until we have some trade routes open up, which I assume they will at some point. Here, we'll put a physician out here so that these slum houses can stop being plagued. There we go. We still need to basically double our population. It's gonna be pretty hard. We're probably going to have to build down here. But we're doing okay for now. It'll be we'll get a lot of population in when we can actually get the beer that we need. Ooh, Iken is under attack. 18 months. Okay. We'll have to prepare ourselves for that.
Some cargo to be delivered to our ship.
That's good to hear, Zipopherus. Yep, we're just hanging out, building up the might of ancient Egypt. But I've been thinking of a couple of older games that I've been playing, or that I have played for the stream. Voices of the Void. I definitely think I'm going to start Season 2 of Voices of the Void when the next big update comes out, which will probably be in the summertime sometime. And I'm also thinking of sometime I can maybe squeeze in some Slasher's Keep, because that was a lot of fun to play on stream. I gotta play through the other characters in that game, now that we've finished with the Northman run. But those are still all pretty far down the line, so I don't have to worry about that too much. Alright, our army is almost actually pretty well built up. I hope. Eureka D2 decided to play stuff that you've never played before, so now I'm on Javelin, Spear, Amazon. So I played the heck out of Diablo 1. I played it to death. And I don't know if it's because I played the original Diablo to death. I just don't have as much fun in Diablo 2. I enjoyed Diablo 1. And it's basically the same game in a lot of ways. But I don't know. I just like the way that the first Diablo was set up. And I've thought about setting up the Beelzebub mod for Diablo 1 and playing it, because I know that adds a lot of cool stuff to the first Diablo. I just haven't got around to it yet because there's already so much on my plate. But I don't know what it is about the first Diablo. It just hits different. Oh, that's a little bit of a problem, isn't it? Okay. You start with Diablo 2 immediately. I'd never heard of Diablo before. But you played the hell out of D2 back in the day. I guess that's fair. Oh man, my shoulder's hurting. I'm not quite sure why. Yeah, I know, like, everybody I talk to says that Diablo 2 is just better than Diablo 1 in every way. And I don't know why I feel weird about it, but I just like the first Diablo better. I don't know. It like I said, it just hits different. At least for me. I certainly don't begrudge people for playing Diablo 2. I'm sure it's a fine enough of a game on its own. It's just, I never really got into it the same way I got into the first one. Of course, it's also important to keep in mind that I was 8 when the first Diablo came out. 9? I think I got it when I was still quite young. Meanwhile, I got Diablo 2 much later in life, when I was a teenager, an older teenager, because I didn't buy it right away. My mom learned that it was an M-rated game, and I wasn't allowed to buy M-rated games until I was old enough to play them. So, I still snuck Mass Effect in, though. I still bought Mass Effect. I got that one, buyer. How old am I? I am way too old. If I was 8 or 9 when Diablo came out, let's see. Diablo came out in 1996. So you can kind of figure it out from there. I'm a little bit on the older side, unfortunately. Hey, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being on the older side. It's all good. I sound younger. So I get told that I look a lot younger than I am. I often get told I look like I'm in like my early 30s, sometimes even my 20s. But I can guarantee you that I am not. I am not a young pup. Not anymore. Unfortunately. We can finish equipping my archers there. Ooh, that reminds me. Okay, we still have 9 months for that battle. We'll have to keep that in mind. Had a streamer friend like that. We all thought he was 18 to 20, but he was over 30. Yeah. I mean, it happens. Okay, Rewardy wants chariots. I kind of suspected that was going to happen. The only thing I'm surprised at is that I don't actually have any chariots to send them. But we can stockpile chariots. We can build another chariot-producing building. There we go. We have plenty of unemployment. Okay. So our obelisk is almost done. We actually are a fair amount of progress towards our second small obelisk, but I think I'm going to make my large obelisk next, just so that I can get like the proportions right on the obelisks. I don't want to screw it up. But yeah, it's just gonna be slow going on this granite. It really is the limiter of these missions. Whenever you have to import a resource you need for a monument, it just makes the game drag on so much. But we want to get these... We definitely want to get these requests filled in, because I don't know which request is going to open up more trade for me, and what request is just going to make the people happy. But I need to fulfill my requests because I need to get those trade routes opened to make my life easier. 6 months? 6 months. Okay, we can send the troops. Probably. Here, we'll send the house. I don't necessarily know if sending more troops prevents losses, but I like to believe that it does. I like to believe that sending more soldiers helps protect your people. Again, it's one of those things that you would have to like sit down and do rigorous testing for, and I don't have time for that. All right, our first obelisk is finished. I mean, I guess we could probably math it out. So if our main obelisk is going like there, then it's going to be like here, right? No, it's going to be there. Okay. All right. We'll make that work. Oh yeah, I looked up, I'm like, where did all my troops go? I forgot that I sent the house to protect a city of Egypt. Okay, I think all of our towers, yeah, all of our towers now have soldiers at the top of them. So you could go ahead and upgrade those. We could also put a tower back here to try to protect our storage yards. I don't really know if that's necessary. It probably is, because we did lose a storage yard with a bunch of granite in earlier, but it's not a big deal. But definitely importing wheat has absolutely helped stabilize my granary. Ooh. Okay. There we go. Yeah, we're just kind of waiting for more trade routes to open up at this point, and for granite to come in. It's a slow existence, but somebody has to deal with it. Yeah, rewardy. You sell beer and papyrus. Oh, that's a very important one. And you buy copper. I don't know if I want to sell a lot of copper, especially because I'm so freaking rich. I don't really need to sell anything. But I will chip into those expenses as we start getting more imports. We're going to import 800 beer. And let's see. I think we need one more storage yard up here. But I also want to build a storage yard for copper. We'll do something like this. You're for granite. Don't take it for granted. And you are copper. And we're going to sell copper when we're over 3,200 copper. Because we're definitely making plenty of copper. I want to save it in case we have to do like a big weapon shipment. But there's no harm in exporting when over 3,200 copper. It's important to keep in mind that prosperity is higher when your exports are higher than your imports. So making sure our exports are very high is very important. What am I doing with this? I guess I'm just going to randomly build a bunch of work camps. Alright, we've saved Eken. Hooray. There we go. That should solve part of our unemployment problem. Yeah. We may need to shave off some of those work camps eventually, because we're going to need to... not enough entertainment. Is it just not reaching? Oh, it must just not have reached. They can go this way to get to it. I can fix that by removing this section of street. It's a little bit jank, but I think that'll work. And then we can also plop a dance school down here, because we're going to need that eventually anyway. We might as well put it there. Yeah, because we're going to need dancers up here. You know, we're probably going to need more pavilions than what we already have. So building the dance school now should be good. And it'll add more entertainment throughout the city. Okay, so with that done, now comes the tricky thing. Because we need to put magistrates in. Courthouses. I guess that probably works. And then it'll be super easy to put courthouses up here because it's actually set up reasonably. I say, as I can't squeeze a courthouse in edgewise. You can put one in here. Right there. Yeah. Excellent. So that should start that upgrade train. That's good. I'm a little bit worried about this section. I kind of want to put down another firehouse and architect's post, just to make sure there's constantly maintenance going on these buildings. It's probably a little bit overkill. In fact, I'm almost certain it is. But I don't want a fire just to sweep on through here and delete all of this. That would be very bad. It would make me sad. And I wouldn't want to get mad. Okay. So now we need to get into scribal schools. Which requires us to import papyrus. We can do that. I think I am going to overbuild copper mines, though. Because that's dumb. Let's do that. There we go. That makes a little bit more sense. Because copper is extremely good income. You know, I don't have any architects posts in here, and I'm really surprised none of these buildings have collapsed. I'm extremely lucky none of those buildings have collapsed. Okay. That should resolve that problem, though. Yeah, that should be good. And then we can also start bringing in papyrus. Papyrus. Yes, papyrus. Import to maintain 400. Excellent. My prosperity is very happy. Culture's a little sad. But we are importing enough beer that we can probably build a Senate house. We might as well put it up here. We could probably extend this wall. I don't really want to, because I'm afraid that I'm going to struggle to get the last couple thousands of pops that I need. What the hey. We've been experimenting with walls this entire game. Why not experiment a little bit more? So how do we want to do this? Let's see, we'll build a gatehouse here. Wall this off. Nice, nice. And then we should also be able to wall this off. And then extend this wall out. There's a road here. You know, they'll just have to take their resources inside if they want to reach this part of the city. That's okay. There. That should work, right? Yes! Nice. I'm sure that's completely worthless, but hey. At least it's kind of defended. At least I think that is defended. At least I can pretend. I can pretend that my city is safe. Plus, it looks cool. And at the end of the day, that's what really matters. Alright, we have papyrus in. That's good. We can build a couple scribal schools now. We'll put one here. We'll put one here. We'll put one Inside the wall. We can put one there. I'll have to move this roadblock, but that's okay. And then here? I guess that makes sense. Put one there, and then... guess put one there as well. Maybe a little bit overkill, but it should be fine. There's no kill like overkill, so... good enough. Good enough. So that'll bring in a lot more... okay. I was about to say that'll bring in a whole lot more people, but apparently they've all already moved in. Or, you know, I'm stupid and my houses haven't upgraded. Maybe I'll wait for a second until these houses upgrade. Not quite sure why I just kind of assumed that the houses would magically upgrade on the promise of more knowledge. Desirability is causing trouble, huh? Well, desirability is going to be kind of hard to get in this claustrophobic area. Okay. So the houses are going to start wanting linen. We should already have a supply of linen, though. Yeah. I guess I don't really need linen since I'm not, like, trying to upgrade these any higher, but it's fine. They'll figure themselves out, I'm sure. A couple hundred more people. That's good. Now, we can put, like, a little cluster of housing up here, and they'd probably do okay. They may have desirability issues, but they'll solve themselves. And then we'll just need, like, another 1,500 people or so. And then we'll just be waiting for the resources and trying to get the culture high. Too few jugglers. We can fix that. Here, let's build this little block of housing that I was referring to. Just something like that. This isn't gonna be fancy, but it's okay. This is actually really gross. This is kind of bad now that I look at it, but it's okay. It'll kind of work. It's not gonna be pretty, but it'll be functional. We'll be able to get like a few hundred people into here. There we go. Here, we'll even put a bunch of hippo statues. Just to make this desirability that much better. That much slightly better. Okay. Desirability here is bad. That's really not that surprising, huh? I mean, we can make it work. And put a couple statues back here. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. This area over here is going to be a little bit harder, but we could just put a couple statues over here. That'll help. A little bit, at least. Also, before I forget, I'm also going to put Pharaoh's mansion over here. That should help the desirability. Yeah. At least with these little slum houses here. $200 more people. It's a start. Dentist, physician. Dentist and physician, huh? We'll put a couple dentists up here. Just kind of dot them throughout the city, honestly. That's how you grind culture, after all. Just lots of dentists and physicians. We should build some mortuaries as well. We don't really need them for our people. We're probably not ever going to need them for our people. We're not quite building that far. But having the access is important for culture, again. Here, we'll put one here. Yeah, we'll put one there too. Now that will use some of my linen that I'm exporting, but I think we're making more than enough money now. I can double check that. 10,000 gold in exports. I am importing more than I'm exporting. It's good to know. It's good to know. The Bedouins are going to attack me again? Well, we can build some towers. I still don't quite know what the towers actually do, but we can build them. We can upgrade them. And do all that fun stuff with them. There we go. Oh, we need a magistrate up here. We can put a courthouse right there. That works. You know, I gotta say, I'm mildly impressed. This is actually kind of a nice city. I like it. Here, let's put a fancy statue down here. Try to keep the desirability high. See, where are we at with granite? We're almost to the large tower, the large obelisk. I'm gonna try to get to the large obelisk before I do the other small obelisk. I might as well. $5,000 people. Not bad for a random city out in the middle of the desert. I always figured Lebanon and Byblos would be a little bit more green than this. Okay. Well, I'm waiting expectantly for this battle. I'm hoping it goes well. We have 4 chariots. The only thing that I could do better is equip 16 soldiers with shields. Which I hope we don't have to do. But we may have to. So, if walls work the way that I think they should, the only place I'll really suffer losses is out here and out here. This area should be protected. This area should be protected. That's assuming the game mechanics work the way that I think they do. And they should. But I guess we'll find out next month, shall we? I mean, ideally we'll just defeat the enemy and we won't have to worry about it. Set, please. I know I've been ignoring you this entire time. But I may have to start begging you for help. Actually, we can move that. We can put that in a better spot. You can put it like... Yeah. Oh, this will look really good. We gotta have this, right? We gotta win this. We win these? Oh yeah, we win these. Nice. Awesome. So this will look really cool when it's done. I'll have, like, the big tower back here. Although, I may have to delete... Do you even need set? I don't know! I don't know. I don't trust the combated system in the game. That's the problem. I mean, that's why I built 4 squads of charioteers, because they're the strongest dudes in the game. That's why I'm building these towers, because I don't know if they do anything, but I hope that they do. I just don't know. I don't know what the game's going to throw at me. I don't know what the game's going to do. After that one combat mission where I got bullied for 2 hours, I'm just really paranoid about the combat system now. Culture is looking a little bit sad, huh? Alright, we need musicians, huh? We could put a musician over here. It won't really produce anything, but it'll hopefully improve the diversion dancer stage, huh? I mean, we could put another pavilion up here. As well as a Hittite army, huh? As well as more of the tools that we need to man these places, because I'm noticing a lot of empty stands here. And we have the pops for it. We may as well. I think these can burn. Yeah. We'll put a firehouse down here too. We may still have to beg for help. The Hittites are the ones that are super dangerous. I think that was just the Bedouin army. Yeah, let's rebuild the festival square. We're gonna do some begging to Set. Hopefully he'll feel the need to assist me if necessary. I'm kind of surprised, though. The game mentioned needing a powerful navy, and I definitely built a fairly powerful navy, but I haven't had to use them yet. I haven't had to use any sea battles yet. Sea fights. Water wars. We're gonna put a slum house there. Dentist, physician, mortuary. All the classic things that we always need. Physician and a mortuary. Come on, Set. Please. Give me gifts. Give me presents, Set. I would appreciate it. I enjoy goodies. So our prosperity is very good. Weirdly enough, our kingdom rating is still kind of mediocre. But the game still wants me to build more mortuaries. Okay. Why not? are going to have to build a library, and it does look like we need more of these. Average with 6 mortuaries? Why? I feel like there's plenty of room for mortuaries. Whatever, it's fine. We'll just build a whole bunch of them. Eventually they'll just saturate the city. Good news is our diversions are perfect. I do want 500 papyrus. I can import more papyrus for a library. You only really need 1 or 2 libraries for a decent culture score. But I think this is going to be the real test of things, is how we work out here. We only really need about 600 people, which is really nice. I thought we needed more. I thought we were going to need more. But we managed to work that out, so that's good. That's literally just another line of housing down here. A sea battle? My goodness. And we're gonna lose this sea battle. But hopefully that took out most of the troops. Yeah, oh yeah, we're absolutely fine. Maybe? Yeah, we're good. I don't see any burning rubble around, even though neither meter reached the end of the rope. But, I guess we won't worry about that. It does seem like... Looked like some got away, maybe. But, yeah. Yeah, that answered my question about a powerful fleet, at least. And it seems like we may even want some more... military ships. Just a couple more. Fire and collapse risk. Plop a slum house here. You certainly aren't meant to defeat that fleet in its entirety. Not easily, anyhow. I mean, if you had Set's Blessing, if you had enough ships, if you had all that fun stuff, you absolutely could. But I had a fairly large navy, and, you know, some still got through. But that's okay. That was a manageable-sized army. That's manageable. Okay, how does this look now? 40 culture. It's not bad. 40 culture is okay. And if we build a library... somewhere... That's a core house. This is a library. Right there. That'll be even better. Okay. We may need a second library, but one should be enough. Yeah, it looks like we're going to need a second library. That's okay. We'll probably build it down here since we're going to build a line of housing right here. I can put a roadblock... yeah, I can put a roadblock there. I could put a line of housing here. And then a water supply. And also a bazaar. And then we could put our temple complex to Bast down here. That'll help desirability. It'll also help our culture rating. May make the other gods a little bit jealous, but that's okay. We'll build more temples when they get jealous. As they deserve. And it seems like we need even more conservatories and juggler schools. It's a little bit odd, but they definitely don't seem to be getting down into these far-flung areas. Who knows? I don't know. Culture is always weird and jank to get, and I don't think it'll ever change. No matter how many times you remake the game. It's always been kind of arbitrary. Our money is going down, but we did just spend a whole lot of it, so that's probably not surprising. Oh yeah, we'll need a mortuary, we'll have a physician, we'll need a couple dentists. We'll probably need another physician. I'm just trying to get all of the bases of culture down. And I did say I was going to build a library down here. So that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. We should build a library inside the gate. Maybe I'll build a library here. That probably wouldn't be a bad spot for it. Kind of limited access to everything, but it would probably work out in the long run. It's mostly the access that I'm looking for. Never mind, I have the culture that I need. Okay, never mind then. I don't need to build another library, but I am going to need to send gifts to the people. And then finish these monuments. Beer. We'll need a magistrate. And then I think that's it. They have the scribal school. Yeah. Once those houses upgrade, I think we'll have the population. I think we're good. I think we're good. Could be wrong. But I hope we're not. Unemployment, a little high. Our unemployment is a little high. And I think we're going to plop a library down there anyway. Just to make our culture a little bit better. $160 granite. We should be getting 40 in by ship this year. Because that's the big limiting factor on granite, is we only have one trade partner, and they only sell 40 granite a year. We're struggling with the scribal school up here. There we go. Struggle no longer. perfect. It's like nothing bad happened.
I love the art of the deal.
Is it you?
I can't wait to trade my
No.
supplies.
Was it you? It is you.
Can't wait to trade my supplies.
Alright, these boys. These are the boys we're looking for.
We're as dangerous as a crocodile, ready to attack our invaders when they arrive.
Except it looks like they're selling a bunch of wheat instead of granite. Unfortunate. Alright, how does our housing look? We have enough housing. Culture is good. Prosperity is good. Kingdom is a little bit to be desired, but we can resolve that pretty quickly. I think we're at the fast forward point in this mission. Let's go. Let's finish this. Let's finish this mission. It seems like we're mostly interested in selling. Whoa, 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 whoa. What? A gold miner was attacked and robbed. Excuse me, game. Okay, so crime might be a little bit of an issue. Let's try to fix some of our crime problems, apparently, that we have. Especially in the slums. This area up here shouldn't have that much crime. Let's take a look at crime, shall we? It's probably gonna be mostly, yeah, it's usually in the slums. That's not a constable. There we go. Alright, I think that'll solve a lot of our crime problems. Ooh, that was terrifying. Okay. There we go. Alright, let's try this again. Hopefully with less robbery. It's not ring. We say that, but what's happening is the traders are trading ring, and they're not trading rent, which is a problem. So let's get one more trade that we need. So we're gonna sell the rent this year. That's okay. We'll just right now. Right now. I'll rent, please. Try again. We'll see if they sell the next round. Oh, no problem. It's of course, that's so many times. We'll get another. We'll just give it another idea. Looking for it. Here, let's end the house. Lose out. Again. Lose in the house, but probably fine. Oh. And you live for the game. Get out now. It is A-okay. Look at that, after all. That's the game. Alright, you push them and we'll be on this. See how this. This right there. Excellent. It's really hard, but literally now. I'm not under minutes, maybe another moment. Other than the over. Alright, he raised excellent. And we do that, we're just waiting for let's go. This is the next one. Hey, we got that. So let's handle it around. Play wish. You know, of course, you just add stuff here and you that, but okay, that's very strangely. Oh, so much stuff. Oh, so good. Here comes the money. Money. I'll go. Export with export with eat. What else are we going to export? Oh, yeah, probably going to do it. We are going to get another wood storage yard. And you'll see where those work. That's very good. That was the money right there. I think that's so much money. Beautiful. What is it? You think it's I feel like somebody made these messages are written. It feels like we're really expecting them to fail. I don't know. Sometimes during the I'm always speaking to see. And like the game, oh, you lost that. Okay. I'm really going to trade you guys that would be full. But I won that, so you're getting right? So you really won. Good job, I guess. And I love the Pharaoh. I just thought I liked my first game, but it takes a lot of time to add this to it. It has the game so well and the era game. It has that ancient feel without being like, I don't know, a little bit too on those. They like, these soundtracks and movies have like certain times they play, and like, it's really fun because like, it's like music playing they play, depending on what region of the world you're interested in. It's kind of bad, it's not sweet. Like, I heard this, like, I heard this on my, like, that kind of sounds like a Western you should buy, yeah. Maybe so. But like, the first gen, very long time, we didn't do that once. That's good. I'm very happy with that. Alright, I'm good at also, our also long time. There's just always going to go. In hell. But, no, that's it. There's a fail or what? I think they need right? Oh, yeah, I can do that. I know it. I can just fine. Yeah, I can do it. I can you next time take under submission and anyway. This is what we do. This is what we do it, and this will have to do this now. And everything else. You know, a few of them too, and it's not. You guys know what I'm saying. But I think it's more than this. Alright, everything's good. We just need this money to finish. We still need more. Also have so much Pharaoh bucks. Still need Pharaoh bucks for like basically the year. Alright, so we got any now. Use this special Pharaoh. Nice. Yeah, like we'll add on this. Those are cool. It's a little bit more. Alright, that's it. Stop that way down. Right there. Yeah, that's right. It was a little bit weird, but it's fine. Alright, this is not so these two ways. I say, these are 1 to 9 because any have markers all the way over here. Alright, anything off? No, probably. Probably the same just fine. Stop working now. Anyway, can you need one more season? Yeah, you might reduce one season. I'll see. Oh, never user. There we go.
All-powerful Pharaoh.
That's us.
By turning back the Hittites, Egypt has grown into a mighty empire. Your sword has given the gift of Egyptian civilization
Yeah.
to the world.
I gotta say, that might have been one of my favorite missions in the game. No joke. Like, I like the idea of us, like, colonizing the coast here. Only really being able to start with, like, a meager gold income. And then having to, like, send troops out to open up trade routes. To actually, like, complete the mission. I think this was a really cool, really well thought out mission. I don't think I've ever gotten this far in the original Pharaoh before. And, yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. It was an interesting mission. It's marred a little bit by the jank combat mechanics in the new version of the game, in the remake. But overall, I quite enjoyed it. It might be very close to one of my favorite missions in the game. It certainly didn't overstate its welcome.
By turning back...
Alright. Imagine how good it was with real combat. I'd probably get destroyed in the first battle. So, this is... Is this the last 2 missions of the New Kingdom? I'm gonna cheat a little bit here. Yeah. So, we have a choice here. As always, this is the last mission of the original game, pre-expansion. We have Hetem Senuret here. We have to build a mausoleum, a grand mud brick pyramid complex. I hope the coin flip doesn't land on that one. Or Rawardi, where we have to build much more reasonable pyramids and buildings, but we probably are going to get attacked constantly. But I think that's going to be for next time. I think that's going to be for... let's see. Not my next stream. I'll probably stream Monday something else. I probably won't stream Tuesday, Wednesday. I might stream Thursday. I might stream Friday. I work Saturday, Sunday. It might be a little while. It might be a week or so before I come back and finish off the base campaign of Pharaoh. But we still have a whole lot to do here. We have all of the expansion missions to do, which I've barely touched these. I've done, I think I've said it a few times, I've done maybe 1 or 2 of these. Yeah, I'm gonna leave you on a cliffhanger. I'm gonna wait until next time. You know what? I'll tell you what. We'll flip the coin for you. We'll see how much pain I will be in for. Will we be in pain because of jank military mechanics? Or will we be in pain because of having to build a grand mud brick pyramid? I'll tell you what, Tana. I'll tell you what. Let me know, heads or tails, which city is which. You've been here since nearly the beginning of the series, and I know we have a lot to go, but this is an important one. So do you want heads, Hetemet Cinderette? Heads, Rawardi? Okay. So that'll be tails, Hetem Penetsuret. Alright, heads or tails? Let's go. Okay. Alright. Okay. Well, that definitely confirms that I'm not doing that one tonight. Well, it is what it is. I have bad luck when it comes to that. It's okay. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I appreciate you all. And until next time, happy gaming. And we will finish the base game campaign next time.